BlxckMonopoly presents Dope Dialogue.
What's good? You're now tuning in to Dope Dialogue presented by BlxckMonopoly. And today we got on a future legend, somebody putting in work in the chef space, a private chef, an author, a 2019 World Food Championships competitor. We could go on and on, but let's jump right into it. We got Chef Anthony. How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. How about yourself?
Chilling, bro. Blessed and highly favored. Let's jump right into it. So give the listeners a little bit about you, like where you're from and, you know, what drives you, what pushes you.
Yep. So I'm Chef Anthony Thomas. I'm a 35-year-old personal chef based out of the Washington, D.C. metro area. I'm mostly local, you know, with everything going on in the world. So I'm predominantly in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. I went to an elite high school called Eleanor Roosevelt High School. They're known for their academics. Then I attended Bowie State University, which is a HBCU right there in Bowie, Maryland. Followed by that, I started my catering / personal chef business around 2008, April 2008 to be exact. When I started it, it was to educate individuals that not only is eating vegan fun, but also being able to offer fusion type foods, which are different foods from different countries and different places, but somehow they just work uniquely with your palate. And I thrive off of those same morals right now, which is still offering vegan friendly food, which, you know, a lot of people think that vegan food is not as fun, not as tasty, but it can be. I was a vegan for 4 years of my life, followed with my brain surgery that I had in 2006. That right there offered natural healing to me, and I still promote it to this day. Now, I do eat everything from pork, beef, chicken, turkey, but I also eat all of those items in moderation. In addition to that, you know, I offer meal prep services for people looking to gain weight, lose weight, or just simply looking for convenience. I also offer detox juice cleanses, which are these cleanses that offer celery juice, beet juice, carrot juice, cucumber, with an assortment of other ingredients that heal from the inside out. I'm helping people with blood pressure, diabetes, gout, arthritis, and I've seen people come off these medications. Crazy enough, my wife's blood pressure started to elevate just last night because she just had a baby, and I gave her 20 ounces of my beet juice mixed with lemon and ginger, and her blood pressure went from 154/89 to 117/74.
Whoa.
And, you know, just I got 6 books on Amazon, you know, just continuing to push the needle in this culinary world.
Got you. So we got that element of what, you know, got you started in your journey and what pushes you, especially incorporating vegan dishes. What led to you becoming a chef? How did you get on that path?
You know, it's crazy though, as a child, I used to always to me, you know what I'm saying? Like just watching my mom create certain dishes and how they always had this unique taste compared to the other people at church or other family members. So I always knew that this was something, well, I didn't always know that it was a passion of mine. But when I turned 19 and I moved out at 20, when I turned 19, I had this open head brain surgery and had to start cooking on my own because in the household, they made fish, chicken, beef. But through my research, knowing what triggered me to have open head brain surgery, which was high blood pressure, a poor diet in college, I began to cook for myself. So I started to implement different new fun recipes that I created some, and that, you know, you also see on Food Network and from reading various magazines and various books that I had ordered. When I finally moved out, I still realized, I'm like, yo, I really have an interest in cooking. So when I had moved out, I'm still reading these recipes and, you know, just implementing different things. Ladies, I had lady friends that would come over. They had tried different recipes and they just like, yo, you're really good at this, like naturally, like, so then I kind of tapped into that. So this is early in the game. There was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was only Facebook. And Facebook was for college kids only. So I would make these videos, these cooking videos of me in the house, cooking various recipes, fried chicken, shrimp scampi, jambalaya. You know, I just wanted to kind of document it for other individuals to replicate the recipes that I'm making, not realizing I'm making an impact on individuals. Um, and crazy enough, during that time period, when people would ask me, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" I'm like, I'm a chef. I was claiming it. Even though I had no accolades, no real schooling or anything like that. I'm speaking into existence. I'm like, yeah, I'm a chef, and they would be like, "Oh my goodness," And then when they would try the food, they really be able to be reassured that, this dude really can cook. Um, Fast forward, now people ask me, and I show them old video footage. They're like, "Yo, you really come a long way." I had long dreadlocks. I'm making the videos, and I mean, it's just looking back to where I once was to where I am now, man. It's a hell of a journey.
Got you. I had like a connecting question I was gonna ask later, but it fits perfectly now.
Mm-hmm.
Without having these platforms, aside from just putting out the videos, how did you build your brand as a chef?
So back then, just putting those videos on Facebook, I stood alone. It's crazy enough. Like right now, the culinary world is very oversaturated. And I kind of equate TikTok and people seeing so many African Americans cooking, they feel like, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So now it's one of those things like everybody's a chef, everybody is a cook, So at that point in time, I really stood alone where there was no one to really. I was so unique, and what I was bringing to the table was so unique. When I look back at the videos, like those videos say 11 years ago on YouTube, and if you type in any other videos, like anything right now, like most of them are like 6 years, 3 years, 2 years, like 6 months old. So what I was giving people at that point in time was something very fresh, something very fun, young, Black, talented, looks flavorful, explaining everything. So even now, fast forwarding, what I try to do is still give people something fun, tasty, unique, and setting myself apart from other chefs and other individuals who are cooking on TikTok. So that's what gravitates people towards you. And that's how you build the brand, is by not saying, oh, well, the trend is everyone's doing this. If everyone's doing this, why would anybody want to hire me if I'm making honey this, jerk that, Hennessy this, Cajun this, I have to step outside the box and do something that's going to make me stand apart. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I get a rush out of being able to provide very unique recipes that make Chef Anthony.
Got you. Cool. So you separate yourself by being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to be a private / personal chef as opposed to being a chef at a restaurant?
So I've done the restaurant thing. The hours are very demanding. Anybody who works in a restaurant will tell you that there are limited breaks. There's high demand at all times. It's very fast paced. And to me, that's not how I like to serve my food. I like to take my time. I like plating. I like great presentation. I also, the environment in a restaurant kitchen is kind of like real, like go, 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 go. So you don't really even get that personal feel with the customers, And I like to talk to the customers about it. I like to see their expressions on their face when they take that first bite. I like to, even hear some of the feedback. A lot of times I get feedback I don't even have to ask. Like they'll say, "Oh my goodness, what did you utilize for this shrimp and grits? The sauce, whatnot." You don't hear that when you're working in the kitchen at a restaurant. You simply just making the food, and then it isn't technically, if it's not your restaurant, it's not your recipes. It's someone else's recipes being executed through you. Me, that's why being a personal chef means so much. You get to add that personal touch. You get to add a different flair, that makes your brand, your food, your presentation, you.
Got you. So it's that deeper connection and also that freedom of being creative.
For the people too, man. Like the people are really the most important part of it.
For sure. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that because you do learn from them. Like you learn from them, you grow with them, you connect with them deeper. Got you.
100%.
So everything costs money, right? So especially when starting a business, how much does it cost to start up as a personal chef / caterer?
I guess it's as far as you want to go. So for one, like I said, me starting out was just simply buying the books. buying different recipe books, finding out which books are going to be beneficial to you, because some books may not help, may not be beneficial to you. Schooling, that can be anywhere from 10 grand to 30 grand, if you want to go into catering, which is something I don't technically try to do, you're buying chafing dishes. You're also, you may have to pay for storage because you may not want to keep it at your home. You have to get your food handler's license. You got to pay for your catering license. Food handler's license is about $15. It's a 5-course class. Food manager's license, you may have to pay for that. That's through ServSafe. I mean, it's all of what you really make of it. Me, I like decor, so I like to buy different items that I can stage my food around, whether that's plants or whether that's roses or whether that's wood planks and different things like that. And I try to make my events all have a different, unique look. So no one really knows what I'm going to bring. They just know I'm going to bring something to their event that they probably have never seen before.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope, because like that's answering, like a lot of your answers connect to the next question, so that's pretty dope right here.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask, like you did mention some items that you need to have to start up, like the classes and like the different material things. Are there any other like pieces of equipment you would recommend needed to be in somebody's arsenal when starting up?
Yeah, most definitely.
Like some must-haves.
The right cookware. So personally, I don't think that an air fryer is necessary. That's good for at home. Like if you're like, I don't want to say lazy, but if you don't want to sit there and watch certain things, it's great to have. A pressure cooker, a nice knife set. I think knife set is probably number one. Cutting board set, custom chef coats, gloves. I use pink gloves when I'm cooking. That just adds a unique flair to make Chef Anthony. Now, those gloves are made by a company that gears towards women who do hair. And they're latex free, they're powder free. So I've been utilizing those ever since. Other items that are necessary. Your own pots and pans for at home, I guess. But if you need any of those items, because you may be traveling to a venue that doesn't have a kitchen on site, so you need a portable stove top. And you also need those items, the pots, pans, wok, and the other utensils to go with it. I'm trying to think what else I have. Burners, like if you're going to go to an event, like I only use these for like corporate events, like maybe at an office. Those wire racks with the burners that go under it. And the deep pans. If you're doing something more upscale like a wedding, maybe chafing dishes, which could be the 8-quart ones that I was mentioning earlier that a lot of people keep in storage and whatnot. But that's a great start right there.
Got you. And so storage is actually important. So I never thought about that. So you have to actually own these plates, these pots and pans, and you keep them in storage.
No. The pots and pans you keep at your house,
okay,
but you travel with them to your various events as a personal chef.
If
the venue, let's say if the person that house you're going to doesn't let you use your kitchen, use their stove, which I've never had, or if the venue doesn't have, like a stove and whatnot, like some of these clubhouses at people's apartment buildings don't have it, so you have to buy a portable gas stovetop with the burner. And you bring your own cookware. So like say I'm going to like one of those clubhouses and I'm making shrimp and grits. I can't make the grits ahead of time at the kitchen. I have to go there and make it on the spot. So I'm making it on the spot. I bring my whisk, bring my pot. There I have it.
Gotcha.
And I just plate it up as needed. Yeah.
Cool. So that's some valuable information right there. Aside from the equipment and everything, when it comes to getting hired to do like a catering event, what's the process of fulfilling that order? Like getting the client and then actually doing it. Do you have a team around you? Like what goes into it?
As crazy as it is, I did 140 events last year, right? And I have not one secretary, not one assistant. I have sous chefs, but I correspond with each person. That adds that extra personal touch. I help them. First of all, I find out their vision for their event. Okay, you're having a baby shower. Okay, you have this amount of people coming. Okay, cool. So let's try to figure out what's the best type of menu. Okay, your venue has a kitchen on site. Cool. Oh, your venue doesn't have a kitchen on site. Okay, so you can't have certain things, you know, at your event if you don't have that kitchen on site. So I have to bring certain equipment, you know. So once I get the menu, we settle on it. Then I give them the price. They pay their 50% down. That holds your date. Final 50% 7 days before the event. You don't pay the final payment 7 days before your event. Guess what? You possibly could lose out on your deposit, and that's a problem. Granted, 13 years I've been doing it, and now one person's lost out on their deposit, even though everybody hasn't paid. Because I'm a very understanding guy. I understand. Okay, your event is not till Saturday. You know, you may not get paid till Friday. You could pay the day before, not a problem. You know, I'm that understanding. I just need communication. So I get there, everybody's all paid up. I get there probably about an hour and a half ahead of time, maybe sometimes 2 hours, depending on, you know, how large the menu is, how much I have to cook. If your event starts at 8, I suggested ahead of time that all your guests should be there at 8, because if I had the food sitting out and it gets a little cold, that's on you. So have all the food set up. I explain to everybody what everything is. That way, there's no allergy issues. Nobody's running into any type of problem because they didn't know. And plus, while I'm cleaning up, no one has to say, "Hey, chef, is there lobster in here? Hey, chef, did you use this?" I explained it to y'all in the beginning. Anybody got any questions? Please let me know if y'all got any allergies so I can tell you what to stay away from. You know. So that's how everything goes. I clean up. I may mingle, pass out some business cards, and call it a day.
Got you. So you have to handle the cleanup and everything too.
The cleanup of my kitchen area.
Got you. And you don't bring
but
like
I don't clean up the physical event.
Got you. And you don't bring in like any like help or anything? Like you do everything yourself?
So an event that has about 20 guests, I can handle by myself. But when you start getting up in 25, 30, 50, 60, I have a team of chefs, and depending on how many guests you have is when I start inviting more chefs to come and help. If I need service staff, I got service staff that I hire, I guess you could say a la carte, through a TaskRabbit.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that. So TaskRabbit actually is a help. That's a resource to help if you have a larger event.
And you got a larger event, you need service staff. They dress real nice. They put, you tell them what you want them to wear, all black, or black pants, white shirt with a bow tie. They already know.
So how do you vet them out? Like, have you ever had somebody who didn't live up to the expectation that you set, or how do you vet who to bring on?
You don't know when it comes to TaskRabbit and stuff like that. Those, because they send you a random person. But what you do is when you meet somebody at one of those events that's really good, you lock their number in and you call them outside of TaskRabbit. That way they don't take a fee from them, and they get paid right then and there.
Got you. What would you say is one of the biggest differences between prepping for clients when it comes to catering and actually being like a private event or private, like, a more personal in-home private chef booking?
Ain't no difference. It's all the same. Sometimes the only difference probably is just the quantity size. And I consider catering when you cook and you deliver, not as a personal chef, going to their home, preparing the dishes and plating them up and possibly being there for a minute and then leave. There's a slight difference. Like if you order Chipotle catering, they don't come to your home and cook at your home, as opposed to if you hire Chef Joe Schmo, they come to your home and prepare those dishes. So that's the difference between catering and personal chef.
Got you. When it comes to pricing, like what do you factor in when it comes to your catering services and your private chef services? Yep. Is there a difference? Or how does the pricing work? Like, what do you keep in mind?
Yep. So certain items cost a little bit more, and people probably wouldn't think because of how small they are. Something as small as deviled egg probably costs more than chicken, because deviled eggs have multiple steps. You got to take the eggs, you got to boil them. After you boil them, you got to crack them. After you crack them, you got to peel them. After you peel them, you got to slice them. Slice them, gut them. Take the guts out, then you got to make a nice base, and then you got to refill it back, and then you have to make sure it's packaged properly. That's a lot of work, So something that's that delicate will cost more than, some wings that you season up, deep fry, pull out, toss and sauce. It's multiple steps. Same thing with egg rolls. egg rolls cost a little bit more than possibly Brussels sprouts, because Brussels sprouts is nothing but, little quick sear, boom, season, sauce, boom, plate up. But something like egg rolls are taking those ingredients, season them up, cook them, make the filling, boom, sit off to the side, let it cool, take the wrap, seal the sides, fold it up, boom, put it in the freezer, let it bond together, then deep fry, then boom, take it out, then you got to cut it, then plate it up. It's a lot more steps. You follow what I'm saying? So those items, as small as they are, would cost somebody a little bit more. And I take into consideration the labor that I put into specific items. Gotcha. And in addition to the actual item itself, how much it would cost in the store.
Got you. And you keep that same formula when it comes to pricing for catering and private?
Absolutely.
Got you. How do you make sure that, you get good quality food and ingredients in the midst of what's going on now in the shortages? I'm not sure if that's affected you, but with food shortages, how do you make sure that you can keep a consistent, good quality food list?
You just have to shop at the highest quality places. And for me, that's 4 different places I shop at: Wegmans, Harris Teeter, Whole Foods, and on occasions, Sam's Club for certain big bulk items, If you're looking for something exotic, maybe LA International, which is the international market. But for the most part, it's pretty much Sam's, Wegmans, Whole Foods, Harris Teeter.
And the pricing for the food is priced into that fee too that you charge the people, right? It's like, or do you just get it in bulk and then just say, all right, I'm bringing this? Or is it kind of like, hey?
So it depends. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the size of the event. So like an event for 10, I could pretty much go to a grocery store. But like an event for 100, I have to go somewhere that sells their food in bulk, such as, Sam's Club or Costco or Restaurant Depot, which aren't necessarily my favorites because their quality isn't as top tier, as other places.
Got you. And you going to the grocery store, that's factored into labor and everything.
Yeah, most definitely.
Got you. Cool.
Yeah.
So like, aside from, well, you kind of answered this earlier too, but like, aside from the food, what do you do as a personal chef to deliver a high quality experience that people won't forget? Because you did mention like, you get other things like roses and everything and fruits to dress the place and everything.
Yeah.
What else do you do to give them that experience aside from food to say, hey, we need this man back?
So pretty much, honestly, really just being myself. So when people come into the home and they see me, hey, how y'all doing today? Hey, I'm Chef Anthony. Quick question. Do any of you guys have any seafood allergies? How about any type of dietary restrictions? Okay, cool, not a problem. Here's my business card though. You guys need me in the future, I got you taken care of. Boom. And then I'm doing that. I'm cooking. As I'm cooking, I'm mingling with the people. You're just being a people's person. I love being around people. That naturally has helped me get further than an individual like a sous chef of mine. In the past, the feedback I've heard from that person was he just came in and he cooked. And I'm like, well, that's what you paid him to do. But that's not what they see me doing on my page. So technically, they want him to do what I do. And you can't expect everyone to be like me and, laughing and joking in videos, and explaining food. Everybody's not built like that, So, but that's what's helped me get as far as I've been, as far as I've gotten so far.
Got you. You earned and solidified your spot on Food Network's Battle of the Brothers. Congratulations, by the way.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother.
For sure. How did you earn that spot? And what things about you do you feel help solidify you for that spot?
So they reached out to me through DM on Instagram. And I thought it was like kind of like a joke, but then I actually Googled the lady's name and went on LinkedIn and looked her up. I'm like, oh, she with a casting company. She's serious. So, they kept reaching out to me, and then, they did an interview after interview, Skype interview, and they were telling me, yeah, we're going to do filming in New York. Just be on standby. We'll give you more details. It hit. As soon as it hit, I said, I'm ready to go. So they said, come on up on the 23rd. This is February last year. I got up there, stayed in the hotel. This was during heavy quarantine. So, like, nobody could leave the room or nothing. When you get on set, they're doing COVID tests. They did COVID tests, like, what seemed like every day, but it was every other day. But that's what prepared me for, you know, being on the TV. I'm being on, because I've always been on TV. I've been on news, local news, Channel 7 here, Fox 5, BET, TV One. So it's not like it was something new to me. But in the dynamics of an actual cooking competition show, watching on TV is a whole different ballgame than actually being in it. So it was fun. You meet some really good people, some people who have the same passion for food as you do.
Got you. So like what?
Yep.
Give a little bit of what the interview process was like. Like what type of question did they ask? Like what did they fill you out for?
They said one of the key things I can remember is, give me one recipe that you would make with eggs. I said, okay. I said, I'll make a bison burger, red onions, spicy mayo, quail egg. Not just a regular egg, quail egg. 2 quail eggs, boom, boom, boom. And then put the toothpick through the top, boom. And then I think I had some type of caramelized onions on there. And then I had crispy onions. So both of those onions together, the quail egg, 20 quail eggs, and spicy mayo, it just seemed like it would work. You know, it's just kind of trying to see how creative you would be. I'm trying to think, what other kind of questions did they ask? They did a resume background, like, let's see what you've done in the past. They study my Instagram, they study my Facebook. You know, they went through, told me certain things that I shouldn't be saying, certain stuff, you know, that was kind of offensive, that made me delete it, that I had on Facebook. Just little stuff. And, you know, it keeps you on point to make you a better person. And I appreciate them for that.
Got you. What, could you give like, you know, 1 to maybe 3 things that you learned from being on that show, aside from, I know you just gave one now, but like actually being on set and shooting and everything and going through those challenges? What's 1 to 3 things that you took from that experience that made you better?
Yep. Always being true to yourself. And I know I've said that multiple times, but people have told me the feedback they got from me. And these were people that were on the show. They was like, yo, man, people told me when you got kicked off, man, they was like, man, that dude was a humble dude. Because I wasn't trying to be anything more on TV than what I really am. And that's humble in real life. So staying true to yourself, not trying to be fake cocky for TV or being a character. I just can't get into character, you know, like acting. Like this is not acting. Like the only acting I need to do is stage in the plate properly. 2, what I learned was that you could be around individuals who, like when I was talking to them beforehand, they did exactly what I did, but they did it back to me. You know, was play down your culinary knowledge, which is like, it takes a fool to catch a fool. You know what I'm saying? So like we would talk to each other, we wouldn't talk about food and what we knew. But when you got on there, you like, dang, they know that. You know, so you like, but you just acted like you didn't know nothing about X, Y, and Z, but you really are sharp and like a culinary genius, you know? So I kept a lot of stuff to myself. I'm like, man, you know, we just gonna go do our thing, you know? But I'm not gonna let my opponent know, or somebody who may be on the other team know what I know. You follow what I'm saying? So it's to always be sharp and understand that if everybody's on this show to win a prize, these individuals may be your friends and y'all may have a beer afterwards, or, you know, at night and whatnot. But at the same time, they still trying to win that 25,000 like how you trying to win, you know? So staying aware of that. And, you know, just always putting your best foot forward. And that was something that I did. On the show, I put my best foot forward, you know, and just soaked up the knowledge. I was never too egotistical to not listen to what the other people's input were on the show. Like, yo, you should try this next time. Hey, put this together, you know? And I'm like, hey, that is smart. Not like, oh, I got all the answers. I know it all, you know? Never. And I walk like that every day of my life, like knowing that I don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't know it all.
Got you. That's some game right there. Sure.
Yeah.
one more question, like kind of related to food. When you broke down
Mhm.
the burger that you would have created with eggs and everything, how does your mind put those creative elements together? Like to think, is it based off like palettes, or is it based off of the look of it? Like, how do you go, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna add two different types of styles of onions. Like, how does your brain work when it comes to creating something from scratch?
Uh, I try to picture if I'm eating all of these items on a plate and I put them all on a fork, how would they taste? You know, like me and you both know that if you put peanut butter jelly and yellow mustard with a squeeze of Worcestershire and you bite that, it's probably going to be hideous. It's probably going to taste crazy, you know. But if you put caramelized onions, crispy onions, and an egg, and you take a little bite of each, that's probably not that bad. And then you add a burger into it, that's probably delicious. Put it on a bun with a spicy mayo, that might be an amazing dish. You know, so when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about what would pair well together if I put it all on a fork together.
Got you. So, like, in a little quick question. So, like, is that something you do as you eat food? Like, are you always constantly studying it? Like, all right, cool, this tastes good. What if I eat it like this? What if I mix it with that? Are you always experimenting, or is it something that you just have ingrained in you?
I mean, I think it's subconsciously. I don't even realize I'm doing it. Like sometimes I'll go to someone's house and I'm cooking and I'm like, Dad, I should make a sauce to go with this, like a dipping sauce. And I'll go in their refrigerator. Okay, they got a little Tabasco, little Duke's mayonnaise, lemon juice, little sea salt, pepper, Cajun spice. Matter of fact, let me go in and see if I can make a sauce real quick. Put all of it in a bowl, and then I have Dijon mustard and chili oil and a little sesame oil. I'm putting all that in a bowl, and I'm like, I know these will work, but will it be too strong or will it be just right? You know what? That works. Boom. Now it's added. You know, like I said, certain things work and certain things you already know probably just won't work together.
For sure. All right, cool. So, like, before we scatter, I got like maybe like one or two more questions.
Yep.
You also written books and everything. Like, what led you to, venture out and grow, conquer the chef space, but then become an author?
Yeah, I mean, so it's crazy because when I first got on Instagram in 2014, my whole goal was in my notepad. I'm like, I want to keep a document of all the recipes of the food that I make, you know, because I was thinking big. I'm thinking restaurant, you know. So I got all these recipes in my notepad. I'm like, yo, I'm tripping. Like people will really ask me, yo, and people still to this day, yo, need the recipe. And I'm like, it's a recipe video. Like they're like, no, I want the actual recipe so I can read it. I don't want to keep watching the video 50 times. I want to read it. So I was like, okay, I created this recipe. I sent it to them for free. Why wouldn't I just find out, read up how to self-publish, make my own money off of it, and put it into a book? So I did a little research on how to self-publish through Amazon. And when I did that, I found out how to make the book, bind it, print it, how to price it. And from that point on, once you make the first one and you see how simple it is to kind of put together, once you have all the recipes, it becomes second nature.
Sure. So, like, when it comes to creating these recipes, I'm pretty sure you're not following numbers. How do you know, how much of something to put into the mix?
I know only because I know how much is too much. Like when people say that this seasoning is probably the hardest part because they don't realize how much seasoning they should use, I literally can do it one time at this point now in my life. I can make everything one time. I can season it one time. I don't have to add any season afterwards. I know how much of everything I need the first time.
So is it just like muscle memory, just being that in tune with like the process?
It's kind of like this. I think the best example, and this just came to me just now, with Steph Curry, and I'm not trying to compare myself to him by any means, but Steph Curry knows how much to throw, how far to throw the ball, how much not to throw to make a three-pointer swish. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's kind of like that. Like I know exactly how much by eyeballing it without knowing that I have to add any more afterwards. You follow what I'm saying?
Got you. So
Like I literally made vegan plant-based hamburger helper earlier, and I seasoned it one time. I didn't have to add any more afterwards, and that's how it is at most of my events. I try it just to try it, but I'm like 98% sure I probably don't have to season this a second time.
Got you. So it's just a matter of getting them reps in.
Yeah. And once you've done it so many times, over the years, it just, like I said, it becomes second nature. It's that simple.
Got you. You have another book coming up soon. Is there like any details you want to share about that, or is it top secret until it comes out?
Yeah. So this is some of the most recent recipes of some of the, I want to call them cheat meals, but some of the more upscale gourmet dishes that I've put together. Stuff that maybe have a little bit of creams, a lot of sauces. More cheat meals though. When you get that cheat day, because you go to the gym 6 days a week, that seventh day, you may want to splurge on something. And if you don't feel like going to a restaurant because they sometimes have too long a wait, why not make it at home?
Got you. We definitely gonna have to get some of them books because and this is really right, man, for sure.
And I appreciate that.
No problem. Like definitely appreciate you having coming on, being present, sharing your energy, dropping a lot of gems and valuable information. Before we start out, is there one piece of value or a gem that you want to drop in anybody, regardless of gender, age, race? What's one gem you could drop and leave with people?
So I'll tell you one gem that I leave with every chef that I mentor, but I think it works with anybody who's an entrepreneur, is if once you dive into it, just make sure that that's something that you can do for the rest of your life and you'll never get tired of it. There's not one day that I ever wake up and say, man, I just don't feel like cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be on vacation. It's not that I don't feel like cooking. Most times I would rather eat my cooking than someone else's. And knowing that what you do, you get satisfaction out of it. Even if you weren't getting paid, I could win the Mega Millions tonight for 300, and I think it's 350. And I probably wouldn't cook for customers anymore, but I would still cook for myself almost every night, the same way I do now, because I get that much satisfaction in the food that I make for myself. Okay. So the gym is, make sure that what you're doing, you're not doing it just because you see other people doing it or because it looks easy, but because you truly enjoy every minute of it. You love the satisfaction. Individuals who are educators may not make six figures, but they enjoy teaching kindergarten. They enjoy teaching 10th grade. They enjoy teaching PE, history, algebra, geometry, calculus. Like, they enjoy it. So make sure that you're doing it and something is fulfilling. You're filling a void within you that gives you satisfaction greatly every single day.
Got you. Dang, definitely appreciate it, man, for real.
For sure.
Sure, man. Like, hit the listeners with your following, like where to reach you, where to get the books.
Yep. So all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, it's all Chef Anthony DC. DC as in District of Columbia, Chef Anthony DC. Website is chefanthonythomas.com. You can find the books on there. The link is straight from my website to Amazon. There's a book on there for you. There's a book on there for kids, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and adults. So everybody's taken care of. I try to cover all the bases.
Smooth, man. And once again, definitely appreciate you coming on, sharing all that value, being present. With that, dope dialogue, Black Monopoly, we out.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on, smooth.